sorry, it's been a while since I last updated this, but things are getting more normal, so there's not quite as many exciting things to say, and I'm just getting lazier, so there's a couple of reasons. But some highlights from the last week. Monday and Tuesday was kind of like Nicaraguan Independence Day, so of course we had class that day, but we did, during class, get to go to some parades. And Nicaraguans are huge on marching bands, and so we saw a lot of marching bands go by, mostly drums and stuff, percussion lines, and then like dancers with batons, and that was really exciting and good to see some culture. Wednesday, me, Nathan Ryder, and my dad climbed Volcan Talika. So we got out of class, had a quick lunch, left at 1, arrived at 2 or 2:30. And then climbed this volcano. We didn't climb all the way to the top. We just got to the crater. I don't think people go to the top. I don't know if that's a thing here. But yeah, the crater was just the most immense drop I've ever seen in my entire life. We threw rocks off of it, and it took a good 10 to 11 seconds before you could hear it hit the bottom. Which I don't know. I'm too lazy to calculate the 9.8 meters per second squared distance that would be, but like pretty far. That's probably the biggest cliff I've ever been at. It was crazy. It's just so deep you couldn't even really tell, and the pictures don't do it justice at all. So yeah, the volcano was super awesome, and the hike up was incredibly sweaty, just like wringing your shirt out with sweat multiple times. At one point or another, it was just pointless to wear it, so we left our shirts at this small village about halfway through the hike. And then we were just hiking without our shirts on, and then it rained, and it didn't matter because we were shirtless. Like these other Europeans had like these rain ponchos that we met, and we felt super unprepared, but not really because it was super hot. Anyway, yeah, the volcano was great. Definitely something I want to repeat. The hike back took 2.5 hours completely in the dark, so I had a little light on my cell phone and used that to descend this huge mountain. It was really cool. It was really high, like relatively speaking for here. And it felt like I was above tree line at the top. Nothing grows there because it's an active volcano and it explodes too much for plant life to be sustained. So yeah. This weekend we had our cultural weekend in Managua, which is the capital city of the country. It's about an hour away by bus. And so we saw a bunch of cool things, like we went to a dance performance in the National Theater, which was interesting for about half the time I watched it. Then it got boring, but that's okay. It was a great cultural experience. Went to some different churches, a very evangelical church and then the Catholic Mass. Just kind of saw the sights of the city, what it had to offer. Managua really doesn't have too much of a downtown because most of it was destroyed in an earthquake about 40 years ago. So that's definitely interesting that in this huge city there's no solid downtown. It's just almost all suburbs. Yeah, and during the weekend, one of the restaurants we went to, I had the pleasure of eating cow heart. So I'm just trying to eat all the parts of the cow basically. I've had cow tongue, cow heart, cow stomach, normal cow, wherever that comes from, muscles. So I'm gonna see if I can get the brain in there, or maybe a lung or a liver. But yeah, it's all just part of my quest to conquer the cow. One more week of Spanish classes, and then that's over. Then we start taking some more history classes, history of Nicaragua, a worldview course, I think. It will be nice to have English classes again. Taking classes in Spanish is good because you're practicing your Spanish all the time, but it's really hard to ask the teacher questions about advanced grammar concepts, and sometimes the homework is difficult to understand because you can't understand the instructions. And also, I think it's sometimes poorly written. Like today, I did some homework with my sister because I didn't understand it, and she also did not understand it. So when a native Spanish speaker can't do your homework, that's a bad sign. But yeah, it's going really well down here. Still adjusting to the heat a little. I went on a run this week at 10:30 a.m., which was probably the most terrible idea I've ever had because I was perpetually in a state of very sweatiness for at least the next 2 hours. But that's okay. That's all I got. We'll see if I have more adventures in this coming week, and I'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching. Bye.